What's up, I'm UndaSkore, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make sampled pop beats for Doja Cat. Let's jump straight into it. So I've been listening to the new Doja Cat album and it's got some interesting samples in there. So for the first beat, I'm going to sample this track from the 2000s, I think, which is something that older people will know. If you're younger, you might not recognize it.
All my life info, but it really don't matter no more, and they wonder why we had it.
So obviously that intro guitar is perfect for a sample for a pop beat. So we're just literally going to chop it and line it up so we can just turn it into a nice and simple loop. So just sped up a little bit, pitched up a little bit. I don't want to mess with the sample so much that it becomes unrecognizable, but slightly change it so that it is obviously a bit different. Just going to put some EQ on it. Put some shaper box. So you can see how easy it is. Once you find the right sample, just mess with it a tiny bit. It's about having something that's recognizable but also fits with the sort of pop vibe and, you know, being happy and sort of upbeat. So now that the main sample is there, I want to go onto the drums, get a drum bounce going, and then we can come back to any melodic sounds we need. So we're going to use the snap sound. It just seems to be the sort of go-to pop sound instead of a snare. Clap or a snap will do. For the hi-hat, just going to record in something that has a lot of space to it but a nice bounce. I want to keep it quite sparse so there's a lot of room and plenty of sort of bounce to it. So incredibly basic, it's not even funny. Okay, now for the bass, we're going to use a Spins 808. You could use like any sort of bass for this, like a synth bass, a bass guitar, but I think an 808 is going to keep it sort of contemporary and keep it, like I said, bubblegum trap. And I just want to sort of follow the chord progression of the guitar. I don't know what the chords are, but you can sort of figure it out by ear and feel. Nothing more to it. Next, we're going to put some distortion on that 808, which is obviously really important, especially, like I said, if it's being played on radio through car systems. So let's just make sure you can hear the sort of mid and top end of it. And then of course already got the sidechain set up on the 808, so whenever the kick hits, it's going to duck slightly. And then to complete the drums, let's just add in a random perc sound, or basically make a perc loop using a few different sounds. So an easy way to make your own sort of perc loops is just get like 3 or 4 different random sounds, like, you know, shaker, tambourine, whatever, and just put them in little pockets where it sort of fits in. And then you can add like a shaper box or something and get some really cool effects where it's like panning, you know, chorus, flange or whatever. And then you can just literally make your own perc loops like that without having to use the pre-made ones. That's pretty cool. Now to fill out the melody, essentially I just want to add lots of different bits of ear candy, some random synths, some weird sounds like that. I really want the guitar sample to just stay consistent throughout the whole track, and then just have other sounds randomly come in and out for different sections. Sounds friendly, I think. think for the final layer this will work pretty well, just like a soft synth lead, something that you can just do some cool like twirling with and like flutter lines. And that's it, just keeping it simple. So now we've got like just different layers that are literally just going to alternate coming in, just to keep it interesting, make sure that it doesn't get just like too stale. Now let's just put over the acapella for Doja Cat's new track, Paint the Town Red, and just see if it fits in.
Bitch, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead. I let all that get to my head. I don't care, I paint the town red. She the devil, she a bad little bitch, she a rebel. She put her foot to the pedal.
Oh, yeah. Animal House.
So for the next beat, we're going to use this sample, which is again one of those old school tracks which you may or may not know, but the intro is just perfect for sampling. So literally we're just going to chop out some sections from it, and I don't want to use too much because this time I just want to use like the main stab of the instrumental. So literally that, because then there's vocals in it as well, so I'm just going to chop sections where there hasn't got any of the vocals in. So we just literally use that. Some reverb on it. Perfect bounce. So now for the space between each stab, I'm actually going to throw in another sample, and we're going to take out a section from that so we can build like a whole new sample from two samples, if that makes sense. I can't play too much of the track in case it gets copyrighted, but if you want to listen to the full track, you can see the title there. But yeah, it's got a nice little flow to it, so I think if we can just like chop out, again, different sections and just have it play in the gaps from the first sample, we might be onto something. Dun, dun. And then just move it. And the progression actually changes, so now it'll make it a bit more interesting instead of having the same stab. Take out some of the lows. So now this is what we've got. Keeps it interesting because at different times we can have the second sample drop out or the first sample drop out, and that's going to have a unique bounce to it. So now let's go straight onto the drums so we can figure out the bounce for this. That's going to be the most important part, I think, to try and complement it. As always, my philosophy is just about keeping it simple, making sure that there's a bounce to it, making sure there's plenty of room, and letting all the sort of weird creative stuff go down to like the vocals and like ear candy essentially. And then go straight onto the 808. So again, for these modern pop beats, you want to use the 808. You see I'm using the 21 Savage Bank Account one, which is like the perfect sort of trap, radio, pop friendly 808, if that makes sense. So you see for the second half there where the keyboard sample drops out, I just have the 808 staying without following the progression. And then you see in this section here, I just lowered the 808 by an octave, so it's like there's a bit of a harder bit. So let's just throw on the Doja Cat Acapella. I'm going to use the Tia Tamera Acapella, which is just really clean and it fits with a lot of different types of beats.
Hair go long like Tia, money go low like Nia. I ain't a big idea. My twins big like Tia. My twins big like Tia Tamera. Why? Tia Tamera. Why? Tia Tamera. Tia Tamara, hair grow long like Chia. Money go long like
Anyway, thank you for watching, really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Otherwise, have a good one. Peace out.
Tia Tamara, wait, Tia Tamara, wait, Tia Tamara, wait, Tia Tamara. They say Doja hit so sticky. I said thank you very much. Bent the whole world over and says thank you very much. She's